All-Stars, and welcome to another edition of Cooking with All-Stars. So today on the menu, we're going to be making your very own homemade beef patties. For today's ingredients, you're going to be using a pound of hamburger, stovetop stuffing. I buy the chicken version because that's just my favorite. You can use whichever flavor they have. You're going to need 3 eggs, brown gravy, and as an option, you can have onions too. So for today's activity, you're going to be using 2 mixing bowls, 1 cup, a knife, your chopping board, your spatula, and I'm going to use an electric skillet for today, but you can also use it on a frying pan on your stove top. Okay guys, first thing we're going to do after we've washed our hands is we're going to prep our onion. So for this recipe, because we're only using a pound of hamburger, we're going to use a quarter of the onion, which is half of a half. So you're going to cut your onion in half, and then you're going to cut it in half once more, and this is a quarter that you're going to be using for today's recipe. And as you're cutting, just make sure your fingers are out of the way. Your first step, you take your hamburger, and you put it into a large mixing bowl. Take your eggs. Add in your onion. And as for your stovetop, dump it into a separate bowl for now. Because when it's in the box, you see all the herbs and all the spices, it's on the bottom. So that's what you want to make sure you get when you scoop out your 1 cup. So you give it a mix. And you scoop out 1 cup. And you add it to your hamburger mixture. Okay guys, at this point our mixture is ready to mix. So I have a pair of gloves just because it's easier to use gloves when you're doing this. So if you have gloves, put them on. If you don't, just make sure you wash your hands extra good. Okay, at this point I've been mixing it for maybe about a minute or 2 just to make sure everything is incorporated really good. And then now you want to start forming your patties. So depending on how big you want your patties, this part is up to you. So I want mine about this big. Now keep in mind that when you fry it, it is going to shrink some. Okay, so just continue making your patties until you've used all of your hamburger mixture. Okay guys, with my 1 pound of hamburger, I was able to make 6 good sized patties. Okay, at this point I have my skillet heated to medium high. You can do the same with your stovetop. And then you're going to drop in your patties. Now remember guys, anytime you want to be touching food, make sure your hands are clean when you handle it. So we're going to let that cook for about 2 minutes before we flip it over. Okay guys, it's been about 2 minutes, so let's give our patties a flip. And then you're going to cook the other side for about 2 minutes. And then you're going to check if it's done. Okay guys, the opposite side of the patties have been cooking for about 2 minutes too. So at this point, to check if it's done, you just give it a little poke like this. And you can see the juices coming out. If it's pink, that means it's still a little bit raw inside, so it depends on your preference. I like mine cooked all the way through. So this is about how it is. So it's ready to come out. And then why I'm putting it on a napkin is it's a little oily, so the napkin will soak up some of the oil from the hamburger. Okay, so 4 of mine is done. I'm gonna cook the other 2 patties and I'll be back to show you how to make the gravy. Okay, my 6 patties are done. So I'm gonna put this on a side and I'm gonna start on the gravy. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your leftover onion and you're gonna slice it as thin as you can without cutting your fingers. And this is for the gravy. So you're gonna add some onion in the gravy. So because it's only 1 cup of gravy, this is about all you're gonna need. Okay, for your gravy, if you read the back, it's 1 cup of cold water per 1 packet of brown gravy. So you're gonna add in 1 cup of cold water to a small pot, and then you add in your gravy. And then at this point, you want to go to your oven and you want to set it for medium, and you're going to bring your gravy up to a boil as you're stirring it. So I'll meet you at the stove. Okay, my stove is set at medium. So I don't have a whisk with me, so I'm just going to use a spoon and just continuously stir it. And the reason why you want to keep stirring it is so your gravy doesn't clump up. At this point, your gravy is starting to thicken. So as the directions say, you let it simmer for a minute and then you take it off the heat and let it sit for another minute or so just to thicken up. But because my preference is onions, at this point I'm going to add in my onions. If you don't like onions, you don't have to add it in. It's up to you. So I'm going to simmer it just for a bit more, just to let the onions come soft. Okay guys, at this point, all you have to do is assemble. So you take your hamburger patties and your gravy. There you go, time to grind. Okay guys, thanks for watching and joining me for today's recipe. If you have a chance to make this recipe, let me know how it turns out. Drop me a comment. Until then guys, stay safe, take care, aloha.